Okay, looks like my upgrade metal gears showed up. Now these are the black gears. They're not the brass gears, which would probably be a little smoother, but the mesh on this one is very good. Here's the metal steering links. I'm not going to be able to use these axles. I'll probably be able to use the rear axle on the front axle on my D90 because these are WPL parts. There's the metal hubs. I'm not really impressed with them. They don't look like they're gonna work very well. These bearings are pretty nice. They're small little bearings. They got the flattened out spots for the gears, which I'll have to do to my other trucks, probably just on the middle gear. I'm gonna slip on the plastic parts. There's the set screws and the bearings. It looks like it comes with extra bearings, one extra bearing I think. Alright, these bearings are pretty nice. They're nicer than the plastic bushings, so we're gonna use them for our differential input shaft because it's the same size and they fit in there just right. But before you put those in there, make sure you get good grease, or the grease that's provided with you is pretty good for breaking in the parts. Later you can put in some really nice grease like this, waterproof grease. But for now, I usually do a break-in procedure, so I'll use this stuff later. So pack in the grease in your bearings because they're ball bearings, and the factory probably puts a little bit in there, but they still need to be packed. That's like all other bearings, you just gotta pack them with grease. Set your pinion inside there and it fits pretty good. I'll probably have to use a bushing on the back just to make everything snug. This part was pretty tough. I had to heat this up to get it off, and that was a booger. But yeah, I got it off. Get that sucker off. You only have to do a little bit of work on that center for your pinion or your gear and the set screw to go on. But yeah, this is the original part. I think I'm gonna go with that because I didn't really like these steering knuckles here for the hub. Doesn't look like it's gonna work very smooth. Gotta do a little bit more work to get it down to its original. Very well. You'd have to do some sanding and then your little ends won't hook up. Make sure you grease everything. Okay, let's see how this thing runs. It runs a lot smoother. There's no binding. It's perfectly smooth. Every gear, the mesh on this is perfect. It's gonna be a very nice trail running truck now. I can control it a lot better. The gears run smooth. Yeah, if you notice where I'm holding my gearbox, it's a 1/4 inch higher. I lifted it up so that I'd have better clearance too. And if you remember this truck from my other videos, this truck is 3S LiPo capable. And if you look underneath here, the shocks are modified a little bit. I shortened them up a little bit, and it's a lot softer, but it still has a little bit of a shake, but the tires don't bounce off the ground once it comes up. Other trucks, when they have stiffer shocks, the tires will completely bounce off the ground. And these ones almost settle in pretty good. The back saw is going to be a little worse because it's heavier than the front. but you can see the suspension is doing all the work there, and it's really nice. The bump steer is almost completely gone with these metal links that I put in the front. There's like almost zero bump steer, especially as it sits. Once the truck raises a little bit, there will be some bump steer, but when it sits on a roll like that, the tires, they don't even budge because of that arm on that steering link. It's longer, and I put it on this passenger side, not the driver's side, because the driver's side's shorter and the angle's higher, so when it comes up it bumps the steer, and when the angle is less, and it's less taper down angle, the bump steer almost clears out all the way. And these metal links aren't half bad either, even though it's on the driver's side. On that top link, it wasn't long enough to fit on the passenger side and work right, so I had to put it back on that driver's side, but it still doesn't have that much bump steer, and as you see, it bounces nice. It doesn't bounce, but when it drops, the tires don't come off the ground, especially on my green one, because it's a little heavier in the front. But yeah, I still got all my flex. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.